What's going on, guys? It's Raven here, Raven187 now, that I'm not a newbie. So anyway, here's a quick tip for you guys with the US65. I just got a new frame that rocked up today. I did actually crack the old one pretty quickly, but the new one seems to be a lot more sturdy. It's by Beta FPV, pretty cheap. And I found that with the three-bladed props, the standard ones that they come with, you can see in that bag there, they make the camera, there's a lot more vibration on them. So the four-bladed ones, actually the ones that came with the Fury B F36, if you guys remember that. So yeah, I went up pretty high there, but if you guys remember that, yeah, if you guys remember that one, that was a classic, and it's pretty much how I started, so I had heaps of those left over. The ones from the Santa Whoop don't seem to be as good quality for some reason, even though that was a better kind of buy. They don't seem to fit as well, so I've got heaps of Whoop props, thankfully now, from my Fury B days, so it should be all good. Camera's pretty clear on this thing, as you guys can see, but if you're looking to swap the frame out, a couple of quick tips. So there's no screws actually holding, once you get the canopy off, which is two screws here, tiny one in the back there, none of this is going to be in focus, but that's alright. Once you get all those out, there's actually no screws holding down the FC. So the easiest way I found was to unplug all the motors, be really careful, get that all clear, obviously have the battery out, and you'll see the FC's mounted on tiny little rubber grommets, and it kind of sits in a recess in between. The rubber grommets almost split in two, so don't do what I did and almost rip off the top part. You've got to almost slide them out, and then when you get the FC back into the new frame, you just got to pop it in, almost bend the frame out a bit, slide it in, and you'll see obviously once you get it out what I'm talking about, but it's easy. And then it's just about mounting that camera properly. It's an absolute, excuse my language, it's a bitch. Camera with the two screws, I actually, once I finally got it out and nutted out how it was being held in, the screws basically just screw directly onto the camera lens. So there's no holes holding it in, it's just, I guess, friction. It's pressure of screws on a lens, which didn't sit right with me, so I've got those screws in just, and then I've actually threaded a cable tie, it's going to be really hard to see from there, which goes under the camera itself, comes back out and ties in under here, and that actually holds the camera up and in, so I don't get much vibration now. Just tested it inside before and it's all good. And one last thing, I'm running the Beta 300 high volt, which are 1 gram heavier than the stock battery, which are 250. Supposedly ADC, but they kind of drop like rocks. Like, you get about 3 minutes, 3.5, 2.5, 2 in acro. The beta one seemed to be a little bit longer, a bit more punch, but I haven't really done too much testing, so yeah. That's the overview. This thing's awesome. I'm pretty sure they're still on Banggood at the moment. If not, AliExpress. You'll find one. But great for Christmas, get it for the kids, get it for yourself. We're all big kids in this hobby, so I think that's it, guys. Raven signing out. Any questions, just ask me in the comments thing. Catch you later.